Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for our special holiday edition of MorningLine. We're socially separating this year, but we do have many of my News Channel 5 colleagues on video talking about their Christmas memories. We've heard from several already. It's great. I miss having them here with me on set like we do every year, but hopefully we'll be back at that again next year. We've talked about all different aspects of the holiday traditions. For many of us, we get Christmas trees, okay? Our tradition in our family is the day after Thanksgiving, we typically go to a nearby Christmas tree farm and actually choose one and cut down a live tree. What I like best about that, and it takes some doing, and I know a lot of people have artificial trees, which I've seen some absolutely beautiful ones. What I like best about cutting the tree down and bringing it into the house is the smell. It just smells so great. Once it's finally up, and then you get up in the morning, you walk in there or whatever, it just has that Christmas tree smell. The thing about it is you have to get that special, mix that you put with water to put in to keep the tree fresh. And it sucks the water up there. But we go cut our Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving, and then we decorate it. And a lot of people sometimes will have themes with trees, a certain color, a certain time of ornament. With us, it's kind of like anything goes. We've purchased new ornaments every single year, that my wife and I have been together, and with my son, sometimes more than one. And we have some. I have one of my ornaments that goes back. It's a little toy soldier, kind of a cutout. And on the back of it, it says Nick's First Christmas. This was the first Christmas for me, okay? Back in 1963, and it's an ornament my folks had, which they've since passed on to me, and I still have it, and I put it on our tree. 1963 is the first ornament ever on the tree when I was born, and it's kind of a neat thing. We've done the same thing with you, but we have all kinds of crazy ornaments on our tree. I mean, we have tree ornaments with Snoopy from Peanuts. We have a Troy Aikman quarterback throwing. We have the little green pickle that you're supposed to try to find. If you find it, you get good luck. We hide that on the tree. We have all kinds. I mean, if you look at our tree, there's not a theme to it per se, but there's a lot of interesting, sometimes funny, sometimes serious and loving ornaments on there. Some handmade, some bought. So what kind of tree do you have? I'll tell you what, our next colleague here at News Channel 5 is going to take us kind of on a tour through her tree, and that of course is Carrie Sharp. Let's have a look. I'm sure it's spectacular.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to the Sharp home and the Sharp family Christmas tree. This is one of our traditions every year, is what we fill our tree with. It started when I was a little girl. My family would always get a Hallmark ornament. Every person got one in the family, and we would choose it kind of based on what we really liked at the time or something that symbolized this year. And the idea was when we left the home, we would take our ornaments and it would give us something to start our tree. So we've continued that on with our family. So I thought I'd show you a few of what we got this year. So I picked this Curious George guy because he's standing on his head, and that's what this whole year has felt like, from homeschooling in the spring to everything else that came with COVID. Everything has felt upside down. So I thought that would be a good one to remember 2020 with. This was my husband's from last year. He's a power lifter in his free time, so I got him a Santa with lifting weights. You can probably hear my dog squeaking her toy in the background. Sorry about that. That's how we roll around here. You can see a couple of other ones sprinkled in. This is, I remember this one. I got this in high school, the running bunny. Maybe it was a little, I guess it was high school or a little bit before. I got really into running, and so that was mine that year. So it always reminds me of the short time that I was a runner. A couple of them back here, you can see I have a lot to do with baking. I love to bake. If you follow me on Facebook, I'm posting a lot of cookie recipes right now, but I always love baking, so this is kind of my go-to with that. My son, my oldest, is really into sports, football, soccer, lots of things. So this is his pick last year. He got lots of little sports ornaments. Trying to think, here's my Kentucky one. I grew up from age 8 to about 30 in Kentucky, so this is from the Kentucky Derby Festival. I love that one. It always reminds me, here's a good one. I don't even know if I can get it off the tree. I'll try. Okay. This is one of my school ornaments from probably first grade. That's Carrie Sharp in first grade. So I bring it out every year and it reminds me. I tried to see which of my sons looks like that, but I don't know who favors me the most. All right, let's see. This is a good one. This is from 92, so I would have probably been a freshman or sophomore in high school. And of course I talked on the phone a lot, and it was a phone with a cord, of course. So that reminds me of when I was a teenager. Also, here's one that my grandmother painted of Texas. Before I lived in Kentucky, I lived in Texas until I guess I was 8 or 9. And she put on the back, she was a very proud Texan. I'm a 3rd generation Texan. I was born there. So that always reminds me of her when we bring it out. There's a couple of more on here. Let's see, that have stories that go along with them. Let me go around the side. Couple of more. Here's a good one. So before I was choosing my own ornaments, my mom always chose them for me, and she picked angels for about the first 4 or 5 years of my life. So I like to think that meant I was just a little angel. I'm not so sure about that then. And this, we're gonna end on this one because I love this one and my boys love this one. It looks to me like Charlie Daniels, but it sings Glenn Campbell. We got this the first year we moved to Nashville in 2015, so it always reminds us of that year. And we'll go out on this. Here it goes. So this one always reminds me of moving to Nashville in 2015, which was a great move for our family. And of course my boys will walk by this probably 100 times over the next few weeks and press that every time, so it's become the song of our season. But anyway, I want to tell you guys all Merry Christmas. I hope whatever your traditions are, you really enjoy this Christmas. As crazy as this year has been, this season is all about hope, and I hope that you feel that. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Carrie. What a great tree. And that's what I was talking about. I love that. Her walking us through and showing us the different ornaments. And really, it's kind of a history of the family life, going all the way back to that picture of her back when she was in grade school and the ornaments that her parents got when she was just a little angel there. I just think that is awesome. A tree, when you look at it, can be a reflection of the family. And it's every single one of them is unique. And I thought that was fantastic. And she's got 2 little boys that I know are just going to be a gas. That's what we've talked about earlier with Rebecca Schleicher, how children being in the house really brings a different excitement to everything. Once they're grown and off, it's just not the same with my son. He's older, it's wonderful to see him, but he's not quite. Let's put it to you this way. I guarantee you in Carrie Sharp's house on Christmas morning, those boys are going to be up bright and early. At our house, we'll go to bed, and that's the way it used to be. But my son, now he's in college, we'll have to wake him up to come down and open the presents. Not that he's not looking forward to it now, but it's just a little bit different level, isn't it? So, and he helped us, by the way, with our tree. Carrie's was beautiful. We got a big one this year in this new house we've moved into as a front window. We finally have a window where we can put one in the window there. I couldn't get up there. Huey had to get up and almost fell over putting the star on the very top. It's lucky he's a lot taller than me. All right, so we go now to our last but not least Christmas memory, and this coming to us from one of the newer members here at News Channel 5, but she's already a terrific part of the team, and so glad to have her here. This next memory or thought or tradition is from Nikki D. Ray.
Oh my stars, I have so many wonderful memories of Christmas growing up. One that really sticks out and that we did every single year was having both sets of my grandparents over to the house. We open up all the gifts that Santa left behind, and we have a big old breakfast. Well, I haven't lived near home in over 15 years. This year is different. I am finally home for the holidays. So we're gonna do something very similar. My children get to enjoy the joy I had growing up. Their great-grandparents will be over there, accompanied with their grandparents. We'll have chocolate gravy biscuits and enjoy each other's company, laughing and playing with toys and truly making a mess of wrapping paper. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to who, I can tell. That's one of the things. I mean, for her, it was so great to be able to come to a station as terrific as News Channel 5, but also to be closer to family. Did you hear that? You can tell if you spend any time around Nikki D. Ray, you can tell how important family is to her, okay? Which is wonderful. And she had not lived near them, did she say there, for 15 years. And that doesn't mean she didn't see them for 15 years, but not nearby. Now she's, driving distance closer and not a long haul. Whereas with me, frankly, it's been that way. I've moved out to Nashville. My folks have lived on the West Coast all this time, and I don't get to see them nearly as much as I'd like to. I envy my brother on that front because he now lives in Boise, Idaho with them and is able to get to see them, every day if he wants to. And I don't get that, even though we call and keep in touch along those lines. But that's a special thing. And you know what, as we talk about this, family is part of it. And some of us are alone more than others. Some of us maybe don't have as large of a family around. And I like to think that if you're watching this show, I certainly consider you part of the MorningLine family, all of us together. We do these personal shows, not so much for us, but for you. And I consider anyone who has watched this show or tunes into the newscasts or follows me on my Facebook page, Nick Barris NC5, where I share a lot of personal things as well as the news of the day, family. And I've lived here now since 1995. I've been in this market. I didn't know that I would stay here this long, but Nashville is truly, and Tennessee is now truly my home. And so that's what it's about, family. Whether you are home alone for some reason, whether you have a lot of family around you, regardless, you have family here at News Channel 5, and that's what this show is all about. And that's kind of how we like to do this. And as I said, this year is different than ever before. And you may be spending time alone more this year simply because of the pandemic, just like I'm spending this program alone here as I sit here at this desk. Usually, last year at this time, Mary Elena, who does such a wonderful job with this show, brings in all types of wonderful foods for us, and Rick is here as well, K-Spear, and we've got all of them here sharing it. We're talking and enjoying each other's company. We can still enjoy it. I enjoyed watching all of those clips that you just shared with me, but the thing is, they're not here in the flesh. I can't elbow Leland in the ribs, okay, or laugh or whatever. I miss all of that. And hopefully we get back to that next year. But you know what? It's just 1 year. We're moving forward. It's not the end of the world. And there is, as I think you've heard from a lot of the people here we're talking, hope. And you just make it through this holiday and put it behind us. And 2021, we sure hope, is going to be a lot better. And I know next year it should be something like that. Listen, do we want to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to wrap things up, maybe with a few other thoughts about the holidays that I have in my mind from the time living here in Tennessee. We'll be back and wrap things up on this special edition right after this.